Hey everyone, this is Mariah from the Petite Planner, and thanks for joining me this month. I have a little confession to make. If you didn't notice, last month I wasn't around here with a plan with me, and confession time, that's because I dropped the ball and I didn't do March. If you flip back through my journal, there's my February, and then suddenly April's right around the corner. So we're just gonna bump up here to April and just move on. And if this happens to you, y'all, it's okay. Just keep going. When I find myself coming back to my journal after missing a month, buying something new always helps me get excited again. And these stencils are brand new for me. The stamps I bought last month but haven't used. And the stencils are supposed to make things easier. Weekly layouts, monthly layouts. And then the rest of the supplies I'll be using this month are things I already have. And I have links to all of them below. For markers, I'm going to use my Magic Fly set that you probably know I love. I got a new case for them, and it's just gorgeous to be able to see them all visually. And you can shop with me below. I have links for all of it right down in the description of this video. I ended up ordering 2 sets of stencils from Sunny Streak on Amazon. One of the monthly layout set, and then a weekly layout set. They have a ton of different ones, but I'm starting with these because they had layouts that look like the ones I wanted to use. So this month I decided to go for something a little different, and I am turning my notebook, and I'm going to work more horizontal versus the vertical that I usually use, so everything will turn this way. I am only using my Magic Fly markers, so I'm using this black. You'll notice little numbers on my markers. I did that myself, and then in another notebook, I made myself a color chart because some of the caps don't always match the colors. So for April here, I'm just doing a very basic block letter that I always kind of done. And I'm gonna start right in the middle of the page, and you'll see it's very basic. I'm using my dots to guide me, and each letter it's the width of 1 space between the dots for that little block lettering portion. And seriously, y'all, if life just gets a little crazy and you're not using your journal and you miss a little, don't worry about it, guys. It's easy to just hop back in and just start right where you are. So here we go. We're gonna use our stamps. So I will have my acrylic block and my stamp pad. And then I also have a little baby wipe. Well, no, this is like a flushable wipe that I use to wipe off the stamps when I put them away. So I'm gonna plan out here. Let's see, I'm gonna choose a couple of these to make kind of like a border along the edge of the page. Stamps are super easy to use. Don't let them scare you. Sometimes they get a little messy. It's okay. And I just say that because I usually make a mess. And really it is okay. I never do these quite perfect, and yet in the end, they all look okay. So don't be afraid of stamps. It's actually a really fun way. If you do not feel confident in doodling, stamps can be a great way to get that doodle look and the cute factor that you might want without actually having to doodle. And I was just showing you that I was checking the edges of my acrylic block for ink because I often get a little bit of ink on the edge and then I stamp it right onto my page. But even when that happens, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I promise you, it doesn't have to be perfect to be perfect for you and to be amazing. So see how I accidentally didn't get enough ink right there? You can take your pen and just draw over that little section that you'd like a little bit darker. That's another little hack for stamps. It doesn't have to be perfect. I keep saying that this month, and maybe that's because I'm not getting it perfect, but really, that's the one thing I've worked hard to accept is it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something you like, and in the end, it's gonna look pretty good. So choosing colors, I'm gonna grab, there's like 100 colors in this Magic Fly set. So I'm gonna grab a pink for the little flowers and then a couple shades of green. And those are gonna be the colors I use this month. So It's going to be pretty basic in colors. Green, mostly just green. I hope these shades of green actually go together because I didn't check them in my notebook color chart. But there's at least 10 shades of green in this marker set. That's why I like it. There's a bunch of blues, a bunch of pinks, a bunch of greens, a bunch of yellows, and it's super cheap. You can often get the Magic Fly markers on sale too. So definitely check out the link in the description below if you don't have these. I highly recommend them, especially if you're new to bullet journaling and you're looking for some affordable supplies. And so I just used a bunch of different greens here, and now I'm going to add my little bit of corally pink for the flowers, just because I like to have pink in almost every layout, let me be real. But I think it adds a little something extra. And there's my April monthly cover on to my calendar. So this is where my new stencils are going to come in handy. This is from the Monthly Layouts 1 package, and it's MS3, I think is what it is. If you get the pack, you'll see they all have a little code. And this is supposed to save us time. So instead of measuring everything out, you just have to line your stencil up how you want it to be, and then you start drawing. If you get a little pin on the stencil, it will wipe right off, but you just go around and you do the little lines, follow the guide of the stencil, and this definitely is quicker for me because normally I use my green ruler that I love, which I actually haven't used this month, even though I had it with all my stuff. I use it to sketch everything out first, and then I use my pen, but look how easy that was. It's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use like a little all capitals handwriting to put my days of the week in. You could get fancy with this, or you could get some stamps. I have some little stamps, but I'm keeping it simple right here. Simple stencil and then some simple capital letters, and I'm gonna have it all, my monthly spread ready to go. Number everything. And then I probably didn't mean to put this extra box right here. I would have actually maybe liked to not have that and then stamps, put stamps, stamps, stamps. But what you gonna do? So I'm gonna put a few different stamps here from the set. I'm sticking with the stamps in this part instead of writing April again because it's literally looks like one big spread with the way the monthly word is followed right by the calendar spread. But I would have loved to put a stamp right in the corner, just for the record. So here we go, April, and then a little extra to tie in some color down here. And this really kind of works almost as one giant monthly calendar spread here. I'm going to color just with two different greens here, color different ones in. It doesn't have to be in a pattern or anything. I just wanted to have all these different shades of green this month. Green feels like spring, right? I don't know if succulents really are spring. I see a lot of florals going around or Easter, but I like it. So on to weekly. Y'all have been asking me if I was going to do weeklies again. I'm not great at using weeklies, but I got the stencil set. So I got the Weekly Layouts 2 stencil pack, and it's motivated me to work on my weeklies. I probably could really benefit from using them. So this is the one I'm going to use, and I'm actually, what is 4A, and it has a lot of different spaces I'm not going to use, and I'm also going to use it horizontally. So I'm going to flip it over, use it horizontally, and just use the parts I want to use. That's what I really like about these stencils. If you don't want to use these extra little boxes, just don't draw them in. So once again, I don't have to sketch anything before. I can just line up this stencil, take the parts I want from it and get them on the paper. And this really is a time saver. This is my first month trying these, so I'll keep you updated as I use more and more of them. I like some of the different spreads, so I'll definitely try to use them over the next few months. If you join me each month to see what I'm using, we can really check these stencils out. So 7 days, and then notes. I'm gonna do 7, I'm gonna use that big box for notes. And I really do need to use weeklies more. Now that we have more going on, life's getting a little bit back to normal, I guess, in terms of activities outside the house, I guess. And then I probably could use this to be more productive with my work and I'm homeschooling the kids right now, so I could probably use weeklies just to help me get everything done. I don't know how successful I've actually been in recent times, if I'm being completely honest. And please tell me I'm not alone. Is there anyone else who just is having these waves of struggling a little bit still? Because I know I definitely am, if I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm just going to add my own little box for the numbers so I know what week I'm in. And again, I just did kind of that block lettering for my words, and I'll add a little bit of color. But you really can make this whatever you need it to be for you, and that's what I'm liking so far about the stencils. I hope I use these weeklies this month, guys. I haven't done weeklies in so long because I was doing them and then I wasn't using them. So I stopped doing them and I'm still not using them. But maybe this month is the month, right? Do you use weeklies? Like, hit me with a comment. So I'm going to fill the rest of these with more weeks, obviously. One for each week of this month. But yeah, I'd love to know who all uses weeklies. If you do, if you don't, leave me a comment and let me know. All right, so we've got to have our habit tracker and our mood tracker. Must have for me. Let me just erase my notes to myself. I'm putting them both on one page this month. So we're going to work here on the habit tracker side, and then we'll work on the mood tracker side. But they can definitely fit on one page if you want them to. Depends on how concise you want things. But I need to take a deeper look at my mood this month. I hadn't been doing my anxiety and depression tracker. I know a lot of you really seem to like that. And I haven't been doing it lately because I didn't really feel like I needed it. But I'll tell you personally, I'm back to needing it. So, but for habits, I'm going to use the stamps. And some of these have 10 little pieces, like 10 little spots you can color. A few, like, I think like 4 or 5 of these do. And since it's a 30 days month, 3 of them makes just enough spaces for the month. So I'm going to use sets of the stamps that each have 10 pieces or 10 slots or spaces or whatever word I'm trying to think of. And I'm going to put 3 in a row. So this one looks like it has 10. It's cute. And we're going to keep with this little theme based on the stamps. I'm going to start here to make sure I have enough room going kind of up the page. If I start at the top, I'm worried I won't space them right. I did not plan this spacing. I'm just going with it, guys. All right, so here's one. And then we'll get another one. We'll need 3 of these to make enough little spaces for 30 days to color. 1 for each day that you hit your habit. Make it happen. And as I'm looking at this stamp, I have actually a little bit of a concern because I actually thought it had 10 spaces and I think it only has 9. So best laid plans. Best laid plans. I thought part of that middle section connected to make a 10th, but it doesn't. So I'm going to make my own. Just make your own. You guys, really, it doesn't have to be perfect. I thought those connected, but they don't. It's just kind of the background. So I'm going to add one of their little leaf. What? I don't know what they are. On a cactus. Arms? Are the leaf? I should probably stop talking about the cactus now and just draw. So I'm just going to add one more little space, and then I made it work. We have 10 spaces, 3 of these, 30 spaces for 30 days in April for this habit. So then I'm just going to label it with my habit that I'm working on. And I generally focus on 3 habits a month. So that's going to work really well in this space. If you did more and you still wanted this theme with stamps, you could make it its own like whole page. You know, you don't have to split it habit and mood. But if I try to focus on any more than 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one works, guys. This one has 10 spaces. But what I was saying is if I try to focus on any more than 3 habits, I don't. I just don't find success with any of them. To be honest, personally, I should probably only focus on 2 habits. That's what seems to be what happens for me. Walking and water are my 2 priorities this month. My 3rd habit is sleeping. Trying to get 8 hours of sleep in. So I do keep putting that one in, but I'm not the most successful at sleep. If anyone has any sleep tips, I would love to hear them. I feel like I've tried everything and I have some great nights of sleep and some not as much. So any tips would be awesome too. That has nothing to do with the theme of my journal this month, except that I will put sleep in here on my habit tracker. And I would love to hear what habits you guys are all tracking. By the way, this stamp also has 10 spaces. But leave me a comment. Let me know what habits you guys are tracking, what you're focusing on. I seem to focus on these same 3, and I am making progress on some of them. But then, like, I fell out of my walking routine. I got to get back to it. So leave me a comment. Let me know. I'd love to chat with you about what you're working on. So that's the habit side, and now the other half of the page will be my mood tracker, my anxiety and depression tracker. So I'm going to use one of these monthly layout stencils for this. I'm going to use it to get 30 boxes that are kind of big enough to do multiple colors in for me. Because when I do my anxiety and depression tracker, I like to track half and half. So I'm going to do 5 by 6, so get 30. And what I love, again, is I can set it down, kind of line it up with my dots, and just go. I don't have to pre-sketch everything, which I do pre-sketch everything. No matter how long you've been doing it, if you want to pre-sketch it and you want to use a pencil first, do it. It makes me feel like I'll make fewer mistakes, but these stencils are definitely time savers. But if you haven't seen my anxiety and depression tracker, I rate both of them for the day. And so I like to have, when I do this kind of mood tracker, I like to have a bigger space to work in so I can divide it in half and use 2 colors possibly. I mean, if they're similar when I rate them, then it could just be a solid color, I suppose. But bigger shapes work better for me. So we've got 30 here. Let's see, 30 boxes. And then we'll make the key. I always put my key on the page just so I can see what colors I'm going to use for the month for everything. But I always rate my anxiety and depression with the same scale. When I was seeing my therapist prior to all of this craziness in the world, that's what he was having me do. So I rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 to 2 is a good day, a chill day, doing well, nothing really going on. 3 to 4 obviously is a next step up. Still a good day. 5 to 6 is when I start to really maybe need to slow down and take a look at what's going on. 7 to 8 is getting there. Like, I mean, I need to take care of myself. And 9 to 10, that's the top. It's not great. It's like full-blown anxiety. So I often pick colors to match, like cooler colors to me, or like more calming. So I'm going to start with like this purple and like blue, and then I'm going to go green. Hopefully a lot of purple and blue will pop up in my tracker this month. Even green is okay day for me. It's an overwhelming day a little bit, but the 7 to 8 days and then 9 to 10, those days for me are not good. 9 to 10 I don't have very often because to me that's almost like emergency mode, like I'm full blown. And so I put pink for that because I already have pink over here in the other parts of the notebook, so hopefully I don't have a lot of pink there. We don't have too much pink. But that is what I'm back to doing here, add a little extra color. And hopefully we'll have a colorful page with a lot of cool colors. But that is my tracker for this month, all on one page. I'm proud of myself for that, y'all. So really, if you've fallen off the journaling, you're looking to get back into it, my tips would be to get yourself something new. It doesn't have to be expensive. Make something that might make your journaling life a little bit easier, and to just go for it. Jump right back in. Just get it. You don't have to go fill in extra stuff. You don't have to go catch up. Just start where you are and go for it and jump back in. I'd love to hear what your themes are for this month. Feel free to drop a comment. And if you have any questions or need any ideas from me, always feel free to hit me up. I appreciate all of you, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next month.